My name is Bree, in case we haven't met. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about my story and IF Gathering and how those two stories collided into this moment right here. There are a few questions that people keep asking me. What is IF? What are you going to be doing? And why? Why? And so I want to answer all of those questions right now. But first, I want to tell you my story and how my story collided with IF's story and how those stories are going to go together. So I've been thinking about moving for the past year now, and I hadn't decided on where I was going to go. I was looking at schools in Seattle and Chicago, and I couldn't decide where I was going to go. And then January rolls around this year, and I just feel this tug on my heart to look up Austin, Texas. One of my really close friends lives there, and I've always wanted to live near her, and I wanted a change in my life. And so I looked up the UT Austin and looked at the school and decided that that's where I was going to move in January. Okay, this hadn't been on my radar at all. And when I made the decision to move to Austin, I very slowly started telling people. Knew is that God had something in store for me. And so I had to follow. I had to. And March rolls around. So a couple of months have passed. I've started telling people. I'm really excited at this point because I am moving. I'm going somewhere. I'm doing something different. I'm leaving my entire community that I've known for 20 plus years of my existence for something new and something different. And March, the mid-March rolls around, and I'm starting to panic. And all of a sudden this fear comes over me. This fear that paralyzes my very soul. And I can't shake it, and I don't know what it is, but I know it's because of the change. And a couple weeks roll by, and I know that I'm living in fear, and I know that God has something great for me just on the other side of it. And it's Sunday morning, and I'm sitting in church, and all of a sudden, the speaker starts talking about fear and how God doesn't desire for us to fear change, because the change that He wants to bring for us is good. And it may be difficult, and it may be full of trial and failure, but it's good because He is in it. And after I heard that message, something just snapped in me, and God was like, all right, it's time, Bree. Let's figure this out. Let's do something about this. Let's change. I have something in store for you. I sat there and I knew, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this, God. I'm ready. And I'm sitting at one of my good friends' houses, and we're talking, and she looks at me and she says, Bree, what do you want to do? What is it that pulls on your heart and tugs at your heart? And my passions are a lot. There's a lot of them. But one of my passions that has come to the surface and risen so largely above everything else is this passion for women. This passion for young women to understand and know their value and their worth and what God has in store for them, what God has called them to. And that's my passion that has been growing in me ever since I can remember. And I'm at this point now, and I look at her and I tell her that I want to work with women. I want to impact people and help them to understand and inspire them to Christ. And in everything that I do, that's what I want. And we're talking about different organizations, and I'm like, oh, the IF Gathering. I totally heard about that in February. I want to go. I want to be a part of it. But I couldn't. And so I look at their website, and I go to a friend's Facebook page who works for them. And I scroll down because I'm being creepy and stalker-like, and I see on there that there is a position open for an internship with IF. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do this. Let's check this out, right? That day was the deadline for all of the applicants to turn in their applications. So I'm sitting there, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have to make a video, and I have to write out this application and get all my character references, and it happens in 3 hours that I have never been so stressed in my life, because I knew that God wanted me to pursue this. And all of a sudden, it was like, boom, I pressed send, and I was like, all right, God, you're in control. You do you, because I can't be you. I go through the interview process, and a couple of weeks later, I hear from the founder, Jenny Allen. She says, Bree, we want you to be a part of our team. And I screamed on the phone. It was 8:30 at night. I'm in my car, and I screamed on the phone. I was so excited that God had this in store for me. And the IF Gathering, what it is this nonprofit organization that exists to gather women together. And what they've been focusing on for the past couple of years is gathering women together. And there's a big conference that happens in Austin in February. Gather women together for community, to be in fellowship with one another. And then what they do is equip them. It's this discipleship model, gathering women, equipping them with the gospel, and unleashing them for what God has in store for them. People, I could not write a better organization if I tried, that aligns so directly with my heart and my passions. And I'm so excited about IF Gathering because of that. I'm excited because this whole next year that I get to be in that organization, I'll be learning how to disciple even better, while at the same time being discipled within the organization. And as an intern, do as interns is to raise support for the next year that we're going to be working with them. It's $36,000. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's really terrifying to think that God has that in store for us. But I know that He is good and He is faithful, and He will make a way for that to happen. And that's where you come in. Not just to support me financially, but to support me in prayer, to support me with encouraging words, and being able to encourage my heart as I continue to follow what God has for me. The beautiful part about living in this community for so long is that you all have seen me grow and change and mature. And I'm so grateful to have a community of people like you, because without you, I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm so excited to go on this next big adventure with IF. But the only way that I can do that is with your help. God has got this. I know that He does. But what I'm asking you is, will you consider partnering with me on this journey to this next great big adventure?